Miller Lite only has one more calorie, right?
And more taste. Good choice.
What a lineup we have for you Saturday. North Carolina and Virginia square off at 6 Eastern on ESPN. The Nets Big Three take on Steph and the Warriors 8 Eastern on ABC and on ESPN Plus pay-per-view at 10 Eastern. It's the UFC 258 main card. Plus this, tennis anyone coverage of the year's first major continues from Down Under. The Australian Open tonight starting at 7 on ESPN2, ESPN Plus, and the app. Super Bowl 55, didn't go as expected for Patrick Mahomes. No touchdowns, 2 picks, and a blowout loss to Tom Brady, but Mahomes is staying positive. Take a listen.
It'll definitely motivate you. I mean, if you're a competitor and you get so close to your ultimate goal, and then you fall short, I mean, it's something that will motivate you for the rest of your career. I mean, it was a bad feeling in that locker room after the game. I mean, you don't want to have that feeling again.
All right, Patrick Mahomes has handled defeat with grace. No surprise there. But, Max, at the end of the day, Tom Brady, 10 Super Bowl trips. He's won 7 rings. And obviously beating Mahomes in convincing fashion when Brady's 43 and no longer in his prime. So is there any way Mahomes can get back into that GOAT conversation?
The odds are long, but it is possible. They're long, but it's possible because this is how hard it is. When LeBron choked in that first shot in Miami against Dallas, it looked like the Jordan ship had sailed. But he, clawed and scratched his way back into it, climbed up, and he's back in the debate. Even if I think he doesn't win it, he's back in it. A generation of basketball fans will swear it's him. But with Mahomes, it's as though LeBron lost to Dallas and Jordan, as an old man, was playing on Dallas. It's really, really hard to do because you lost head-to-head. But I'll say this much. I thought Mahomes was spectacular. In fact, honestly, I thought he was the best quarterback on the field in spite of the numbers. He did miraculous things. Tom Brady was pressured less than any time in his Super Bowl career. 4 times on dropbacks, on 30 dropbacks. 4 pressures. Mahomes was pressured on 29 of 56, more than 50%. But what gets worse is they blitzed under 10% of the time, which may be also a record for the Super Bowl. So what that means is you're always running for your life, and because they never have to send an extra guy, no one's ever open. And yet Mahomes, think about this for a second, hit 2 receivers in the face in the end zone, in the face, and he did it on the run the second time. One of the most spectacular plays I've ever seen. He was parallel with the ground. How did he get away from Shaq Barrett, let alone get that pass off? And he also hit another receiver in the hands in the end zone. Forget about the Travis Kelce 3rd down for 16 yards and a first down, right? Never mind that. There are 3 touchdown passes that he threw under. How many quarterbacks in the history of football could even get those passes off, let alone put them where he put them? So I think as time goes on, people will review the spectacular nature of the way Mahomes played in this game. But beyond that, Marcus, this is how he could do it. He can win a handful of Super Bowls. He's probably not going to get to 7 or 8. Who knows if Brady's done, right? He can win a handful of Super Bowls. He can shatter records, like maybe throw 60 touchdowns in a season. That's not out of the possibility for Patrick Mahomes. And he could beat Brady in a rematch, which is also not out of the realm of possibility. It's a lot of ifs that have to add up. I think it's unlikely, but it's possible because his peak is the highest I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, look, we disagree, but we don't have to get into a spat about it. It's simple for me. It really boils down to the example you made in basketball. If LeBron and Jordan met in the finals and Jordan beat LeBron as an older player, LeBron wouldn't be in the GOAT conversation. Now, we would talk about him being the most talented and one of the best to ever do it. But when we got this matchup head-to-head, I firmly believe that Patrick Mahomes needed to win this game in order to be in the GOAT conversation legitimately when we start talking about the longevity of a career. There's a lot of things Patrick Mahomes is still going to do. He's going to win some more Super Bowls, but we're all going to remember that Tom Brady was 43 when they met in the Super Bowl and he beat him. We also going to remember in 2018 when Tom Brady beat him in the AFC Championship. So Patrick Mahomes needed this game in order for this conversation to go further. Patrick Mahomes may break every Tom Brady record when it comes to passing yards and all of those things, which probably will happen with how the league is now and what they do offensively in Kansas City. But when we start talking about the GOAT, we don't need to have a conversation about Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. Tom Brady is in a league of his own when it comes to GOAT. And for me, quite frankly, in professional team sports, this has become way bigger than Patrick Mahomes. That's why I go back to the first argument we had about Tom Brady being the most impressive Super Bowl run. We don't do these things at 43 years old. This doesn't happen. If I told you years ago a 43-year-old quarterback that changed teams in the middle of a global pandemic was going to go on and win a Super Bowl against teams and quarterbacks that have been together, that know who they are identity-wise and have a plan, then you would have told me I was crazy and I shouldn't be on television, period. So look, the GOAT conversation is over. For everybody that wants to talk about this in the NFL and compare things, look, we know Aaron Rodgers is more talented than Tom Brady and has done better things from an optic standpoint playing the position than Tom Brady. Patrick Mahomes has taken that to another level. The bottom line is when we start talking about GOAT, also LeBron does some things athletically that Jordan couldn't do. But the reason why people talk about Jordan being the GOAT is because of the insurmountable accomplishments. Period. Like that. I do, Max. I do. You know how I feel about LeBron. But
Jordan had a 48-inch.
Let's not go there. Hold on, Max.
But, yeah.
This ain't about. Yeah, LeBron 6'8", all of that God-given stuff. Anyway, Tom Brady beating Patrick Mahomes head-to-head, I believe, knocked Patrick Mahomes out of the GOAT conversation. If we didn't have this matchup
reasonable
and we had to speculate, then we could move. All right.
That's a totally reasonable position to have, and it's probably right. What I'm saying is the door isn't closed. And the reason I'm saying this is, look, that game was so clearly a line of scrimmage game. One guy was running for his life. The other guy had all the time in the world.
Max, we're not going to talk about history like that. We're not going to talk about that, though. We're not going to. History will not talk about that, Max. Max, don't do it, bro.
It depends.
Don't do
hold
it.
on, Marcus.
We know history won't bring that up.
Going forward. It depends what happens going forward. If, for example, they link up again next season, and this time no one has a decimated offensive line and Mahomes wins, what that will demonstrate to a lot of people is, well, yeah, because on a level playing field, Mahomes' team won. It depends on what happens going forward. If Mahomes never wins another Super Bowl or wins one more, he ain't going to be in the conversation if that happens. But if he gets him in a rematch and Mahomes winds up with 5 championships, by the way, the odds are against Mahomes winning 5 championships. It's hard to win even one. That's why Brady's the GOAT, right? But if Mahomes is able to do that and shatters every record, he'll be back in the conversation.
We disagree, bro. When you get a chance, when you get a chance to be the future GOAT, and that's the conversation we have.
No chance.
But you actually play the GOAT and you lose, you are removed from that conversation.
But there was no chance, Marcus. Marcus, looking back real quick, just be honest. Was there a chance that any quarterback could lead that Chiefs team over that Bucs team on Sunday?
Max,
ever? Was there really a chance?
After we watched the game, no. But that you thought it was a chance before the game. We can sit here and talk hindsight all day long.
I thought they should have been underdogs.
The bottom line is this. When we talk about history, when history comes, we will not say Patrick Mahomes' offensive line was bad. We will say Tom Brady beat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl when he was 43. That's what we will say.
Brady's had bad offensive line.
LeBron James took the Cavs to the finals with no one on them. LeBron James missed Kyrie and Kevin Love against the Warriors the first time and lost. And in fact, I point to that all the time. Like, of course he would have beaten them if he had his crew.
I'll leave you with this. Here's one feather in Patrick Mahomes' cap right now that he has. He's the youngest quarterback ever to start in multiple Super Bowls. So that's one thing Brady can't take away from him. Marcus, very fun having you on. As always, I will miss you the rest of the show.
Swagoo.
You have fun on NFL Live later. Kendrick Perkins is coming up next, so buckle up for that.
Better
Max.
not
All
see a
Marcus,
jacket
we'll
on
talk to you
NFL Live.
LeBron and Brady are sports ageless wonders, but how long will LeBron have to keep it up in order to match Brady's accomplishments? Brady versus LeBron next.
I'm Kareem Jackson, safety of the Denver Broncos. I am proud to celebrate the contributions and achievements of Black people as we honor Black History Month.
Liberty Mutual customizes.
Wait, am I in one of those Liberty Mutual commercials where they stand in front of the Statue of Liberty and talk about how Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need?
Yes.
Huh. What happens in this one?
Seagulls.
Oh, I like it. How are you doing?
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. America's on fire right now. But where some see despair, I see ground zero for the revolution.
Our counterintelligence must prevent the rise of a black messiah.
You want me to get close to Fred?
I did the damn job, and I'm out.
Anywhere there's people, there's power.
Judas and the Black Messiah, rated R, in theaters and streaming exclusively on HBO Max.
Pause jerky. We have to stop.
Beef jerky! Dad, this is far.
Wow, we are really out here.
You guys are gonna love this.
Hot! Hot!
What is this?
Hot!
It says TNT.
We need milk!
All right, I'm gonna get us some milk.
Take a family off-road trip in the new Santa Fe with H-Track all-wheel drive.
There's spicy, and then there's spicy. Which is why we put our new Mighty Hot Sauce on the side, in a covered container. And you have to ask for it. Spicy Chicken McNuggets, they're back. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Outside can be sweet, and salty, and sunny, and stormy. With crunchy roasted peanuts and creamy nut butter coating, Nature Valley's sweet and salty bars. Enjoy it all outside.
The fighting spirit is one we all share. It's the steady beat in the story of Anderson .Paak, the story of his immigrant mother, raising 4 children on her own. His own story of a man who came from nothing, who found purpose and success in the booth of a recording studio. Anderson .Paak found his fighting spirit and uses it to inspire others through his music. Since 1925, we've proved that it doesn't matter where you come from, it matters what you're made of. Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit.
I'll be right back. With moderate to severe Crohn's disease, I was there. Just not always where I needed to be.
Is she all right?
I hope so. So I talked to my doctor about Humira. I learned Humira is for people who still have symptoms of Crohn's disease after trying other medications. The majority of people on Humira saw significant symptom relief in as little as 4 weeks, and many achieved remission that can last.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections. Serious and sometimes fatal infections, including tuberculosis and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Be there for you and them. Ask your gastroenterologist about Humira. With Humira, remission is possible.
There's a place for us, where thrill seekers drink from the fountain of I'm gonna get mine. A land of games and game changers. Propelling the future of sports so your competitive gene can run rogue. Your next play, your call. Our next play, whatever we can dream up. DraftKings, make it rain.
This is the super versatile Ring Stick-Up Can. It goes indoors, outdoors, outdoors in the rain. It's got two-way talk.
Hey, Eddie.
Comes in tons of power options and works with Ring Alarm to start recording if something's going on.
Seriously?
Seriously. So start protecting your home with the easy installing indoor-outdoor Ring Stick-Up Can. Learn more at ring.com.
Still to come on First Take. What does LeBron need to accomplish in order to catch Tom Brady's greatness? Plus, I'll tell you which team Carson Wentz should be praying to join next season. And I'll tell you why Tom Brady's Super Bowl run is not the best of all time. Don't go anywhere. More First Take after this short break.
How do we ensure families facing food insecurity get access to their food? We needed to make sure that if they couldn't get to the food would come to them. We can deliver for food banks and schools. Amazon knows how to do that. I've helped deliver 12 million meals to families in need. That's the power of having a company like Amazon behind me.
For some of us, our daily journey is a short one. When you drive less, you pay less with pay-per-mile insurance from Allstate. You've never been in better hands. Allstate. Click or call for a quote today.
Just landed my dream job. I'm a full-time hand model.
Then all this is deductible. You want to hand those taxes off?
That would be nice.
File with the help of an expert. Or let an expert file for you. Intuit TurboTax Live.
This has got the steak and the sizzle.
The tots on this are just crispy and they're flavorful.
This will keep you out of my tots.
Sonic Extra Long Ultimate Cheesesteaks. Yeah, this might keep me out of your tots.
I love this car. And it says here on Auto Trader that you offer home test drives?
Yep, wouldn't be a problem at all.
That's great. Hey, buddy, can you do me a favor? Put some pants back on, please. Big boys wear pants, right?
I am a big boy.
Sorry, what was that? My kid just walked in.
Are you ready to get this home test drive started?
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
You thought I was talking to you.
I thought you were talking to me.
You have pants on though, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, it's corporate policy.
Find dealers offering home services on AutoTrader.
Now there's a new way Experian Boost can raise your credit scores.
Experian Boost has my back. It raised my credit score because I pay for streaming services.
Now, paying for Netflix, Hulu, and more can boost your credit scores. Download the Experian app now.
Listen, I don't want to have this much fun, but the rivers need me.
You think we want to sit around all day playing video games? No. But I'm doing it for the rivers.
For the rivers.
Drink a Coors Hard Seltzer, help save a river. Each pack restores 500 gallons of river water.
A lot can change in a month. You could meet the love of your life, and his kids, and their dog. Which is why CarMax created the Love Your Car Guarantee. With 24-hour test drives and a full 30 days to return and get your money back. The way it should be. CarMax.
Now's the time. Buckle down. Work harder. Play smarter. Do better. Be better. Work harder. Play smarter. Do better. Be better. Work harder. Play smarter. Do better. Be better.
What a finish.
Keep pushing.
It slips it home.
Because the work is never done.
Hulu show my team hit a game winner. I seen her walk off for a series clincher. Hulu has live sports. Hulu.
Damn, that was dope. But it's Hulu doesn't just have live sports.
Hulu doesn't just have live sports.
You also have to say 65 live channels. Plus Hulu's entire streaming library.
I don't know, man. We can make that work, right? Hulu doesn't just have live sports, it's a lifestyle. Hulu show my team hit a game winner. I seen her walk off for a series clincher. Hulu has live sports. Hulu.
Damn, that was dope. But it's Hulu doesn't just have live sports.
Hulu doesn't just have live sports.
You also have to say 65 live channels. Plus Hulu's entire streaming library.
I don't know, man. We can make that work, right? Hulu doesn't just have live sports.
They made cyan Mara honor roll.
The ink!
I'm so hosed. Yeah, you are. The Epson EcoTank printer. No more cartridges. It comes with an incredible amount of ink that can save you a lot of trips to the store. Get ready for the Dean's list.
Who's Dean?
The Epson EcoTank. just fill and chill. Available at...
Here at First Take, we are celebrating Black excellence. First Take is bringing on an HBCU tour. Each Wednesday in February, we'll check in with a different school. And this Wednesday, we'll catch up with Howard University in Washington, D.C. Tune in all month right here on First Take as we recognize Black History Month. All right, so after Brady's Super Bowl win, we found ourselves discussing the inevitable GOAT conversation across sports. We all love to debate it. LeBron had a chance to weigh in. Here's what he had to say about Tom Brady's longevity. Can't wait for this.
One of the GOATs. I've been watching him my whole life. For him to win another one yesterday in the fashion that he won, it was pretty cool. It's very inspiring for a guy like myself. But two different sports, two different positions. I don't know how long I'm gonna play the game. I don't know how much more I'll be able to give to the game. But the way I feel right now, we'll see what happens. But I have no timetable on it. I have no year of. The game will let me know when it's time, and we'll figure it out then.
Well, it certainly isn't the time because he's still playing at an MVP level. Big Perk is in the building on your screens. How we doing, Kendrick Perkins? Always good to see you, sir. I will get to you in just a moment. Good to see you.
Good morning to you, Molly. Max.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Max,
Perk.
You know what it is. Oh, my goodness. All right, guys.
Scowling.
So Tom Brady's already eclipsed
a little bit.
20 years. He's focused. He's ready to take you on and take you down. That's a matter of fact. Tom Brady's already played 20 years in the NFL. LeBron's approaching it. I think he's at year 18. Max, what would LeBron have to do? We're always talking about LeBron and MJ. What does LeBron have to do to catch Tom Brady?
Yeah, before you can catch MJ, who's number one in any sport all time, catch Tom Brady. Right. Has he caught Tom Brady already or no? Because Tom Brady doesn't have a Michael Jordan in football that he had to pass by. I thought Tom Brady passed Joe Montana years ago. Like when he got to 5, he passed Joe Montana. Even when they were tied, I thought maybe Brady's got him. And so there's no, and Montana was the greatest ever in my opinion, but not Michael Jordan. So it's a harder thing to be considered the GOAT in basketball than it is in football, simply because there was never a Michael Jordan of football. The sport doesn't lend itself to one guy dominating that way, which is why what Brady's doing so remarkable. I think LeBron has to have a flurry of winning, like a concentrated era of winning at the very end of his career, because that's really why Brady put so much distance between himself and the rest of football. When I thought he passed Montana, I thought that was as the greatest quarterback ever. But at this point, he's clearly the greatest player ever. And that's because since I made the Cliff prediction, that was 5 years. He's been to 4 Super Bowls and won 3. He'd never done that in his entire career until that point. Never. He played 15 years until that point. He went to 6 Super Bowls and won 4. And then in the next 5 years, he went to 4 and won 3. That's what makes him in a class by himself. Now, LeBron is in a position where he might do that. LeBron is on a team that's a powerhouse, in a market that's attractive to free agents, with a very competently run organization, with another superstar who may be just in his prime now, at his very absolute best now, in Anthony Davis. Yes, LeBron could do it. He got to LA, he won 1. If he stays in LA for 3 or 4 years and does what Brady just did, which he might, then all of a sudden, LeBron is sitting on 7 or 8 chips. And he did it because of this incredible flurry of championships toward the very end of his career. And Perk, let me just say this. Football, many quarterbacks are great still in their late 30s. The reason I predicted the cliff, meaning not a decline, but a sudden fall off, is because Favre and Peyton Manning and others were like, oh my God, at 37, 38. They've never been better. And then all of a sudden they weren't good anymore. But in the NBA, that never happens. Because of the miles you run in the NBA, you don't see 37 and 38-year-old MVPs like you do frequently in the NFL. And so LeBron is much closer to being Brady already in terms of his age and what he's doing than people realize. For him to still be the best player in the game at his age is completely, and given the miles he's run in the NBA already, the minutes he's played, is completely unprecedented. But he's going to have to win some more chips to catch Brady.
Well, first of all, let me start off by saying this. I don't want to disrespect the GOAT of football and Tom Brady because I believe he's the greatest football player ever. And what he did in this Super Bowl this past weekend or this past season, going through, Drew Brees and Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, just cemented that. But when you talk about comparing him and LeBron James, first of all, basketball and football is apples and oranges to me. Second of all, they have the code. They have the exact same code to the exact same penthouse. They both could get into the same penthouse using the same code. They are sitting at the same dinner table. And when you talk about LeBron James, a guy that had pressure, a guy that had so much on his shoulders since the age of 16, since the age of 18, when he was drafted in 2003, the expectations, the bar that was set. No knock on Tom Brady, but Tom Brady was drafted in the 6th round. It wasn't no expectations on Tom Brady. He wasn't set up to fail. LeBron James has exceeded expectations. You talk about pressure. And then, Max, when we talk about football and basketball, and I know Big Marcus Spears and Big Dan Orlowski and Ryan Clark and all the football minds may feel some type of way about this, but it's no discredit. Look, it's no discredit to winning a championship in football because it's hard to win a championship in any sport, okay? I'm going to make that clear. But when you talk about football, they have to win a max of 4 games. 4 games. Sometimes 3 when they get a first round bye. In basketball, you got to win 16 games. 4 games in basketball just get you through the first round. So right there is a separation. And when you talk about another thing, for as LeBron James, when he gets there, him and Brady both then got there 10 times apiece. Yes, Brady then won 7. LeBron James has won 5. So they both, it's not like they both 100%. But when they get there and they both win it, guess what? LeBron James finishes food on his plate, Max. And when I say that, meaning not only when he win it, does he win it, he wins the final MVP every single time that he's won a championship. Tom Brady has left food on his plate because he's won 7, but he's only won 5 of the MVPs, okay?
This is the thing about Brady, though, that's remarkable. I take what you say the other way. And by the way, the football guys say it's harder in football, basketball guys say it's harder in basketball, but I take it the other way. In a one-and-done tournament, the fact that Brady's got 7 rings in one-and-done tournaments in a league that promotes parity unlike any other, because there's a hard cap. The fact that, and he did it with Belichick the whole time, but then he switches teams and they do it right away. And you talked about the gauntlet of quarterbacks he had to run through. To me, that's more impressive. It means with the chips are always on the line, and you always have to come out on top. So Brady has that winner thing about him, the aura, in a different way than LeBron. LeBron had to learn that. LeBron, I don't count 07 with Cleveland. It's amazing he got them there. But in Miami, he had to learn how to do it. Brady had that winner thing where his team always seemed to win from the moment he hit the league. And that's what LeBron's really up against. 5 out of 10 versus 7 out of 10.
Max, how can you say something so crazy when you look at the effect that LeBron James have on the franchise? Before Cleveland got him, they were in the lottery every single year. And then when Cleveland drafted LeBron James, a year or 2 later, they instantly became a contender. LeBron James leaves Cleveland. They go right back into the lottery again. He goes to Miami and helped them win 2 championships. He leaves Miami. Miami never sniffed the Eastern Conference Finals again until just last year when Jimmy Butler in the bubble took over, okay? and then he leaves Cleveland again and goes to LA, Cleveland, back to rock bottom again. Where he goes to more pressure, LA with Magic, Kareem, all the all-time greats. I'm going there not to go in and ride off into the sunset and do Space Jam 2. No, I'm going there to hang a banner. I'm going to more pressure. It's enough that I didn't have pressure on me my entire life. I'm going to add more pressure and go to the Lakers where they got banners galore all over the arena. I'm going to go there and hang one. Well, what you arguing? You just said that the man, that Brady, it was a separation between winning. And I'm telling you it's not. It's not a separation. What I'm saying is
you're mentioning all the things. You're mentioning all the things that LeBron has done, but I can point to a finals where he didn't play well, and that cost his team. Had LeBron just stayed himself in the fourth quarter of that Dallas series, they win, but he didn't, and they lost. By the way, I know I'm splitting hairs, but we're comparing two of the greatest of all time. So hold on, Perk, hold on. So this is what I'm saying. Brady's lost 3 out of 10 Super Bowls. 3 out of 10. 2 of them were by the skin of his teeth to Eli Manning, by the skin of his teeth. And one of them also by the skin of his teeth where he threw 500 yards. He does not have any Dallas series on his resume. And when you're splitting hairs among the very greatest of all time, you have to start looking at stuff like that.
Yeah, and you also have to start looking at stuff like LeBron James was facing one of the greatest teams of all times with Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, and Klay Thompson. We also have to look into that. Go pull up LeBron numbers when he. And you talk about Tom Brady throwing for 500 yards in a loss in the Super Bowl. Go look at LeBron James' finals numbers when he was going against Golden State, especially in that first year.
I noticed I didn't bring those up.
Kevin Love and when he lost Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love.
I agree.
So that counts on the resume too. But all I'm telling you, Max, is that to your point, you said that Tom Brady, he proven that he left
I see what you're saying.
Patriots,
Yeah.
Went to he went to the Bucks and he changed it and he won with a different team. I'm telling you, LeBron James has done the same thing. He's won with Cleveland, he's won with Miami, and he's won with the Lakers. The Lakers hadn't been to the playoffs in 7 or 8 years, almost a decade. He goes there towards the end of his prime and not only gets them to the playoffs, but delivers a title. It don't matter. It don't matter.
With AD, and by the way, it was in the absence. It was all of a sudden Golden State didn't have KD or Steph or Clay. The KD, Steph, and Clay Warriors with Draymond would have beaten LeBron and AD. But that's not really what I'm talking about. LeBron, twice in his career, entered postseason series, both times in Miami, with a team that should have won but lost, or at least a team on equal footing with the other team and lost. And the difference between football and basketball is the best player in basketball has a greater sway over the outcome of the game than in football. So when they win, they get tons of credit, but when they lose, they also get tons of blame, even more than a quarterback in the NFL. LeBron's teams that he was on in Miami, talent-wise, were right there with Dallas and right there with San Antonio, and they lost both times. So I'm not holding the Golden State stuff against them. I agree with you there. I'm looking at Miami.
Okay, well, Max, I'm just going to leave it at this. At the end of the day, like I said at the start of this segment, that LeBron James and Tom Brady both have the same code to get in the same penthouse, period. It ain't nothing else LeBron need to do to catch up with Tom Brady.
But with Jordan sitting at the head of the table, who's facing him, Brady or LeBron?
It's not. They both eating ribeyes, so they all three eating ribeyes, so it don't even matter, Max. All I'm telling you is that he don't need to do nothing. He don't need to do anything to catch up with Brady.
Really eat steak.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
I like a New York
I'm just saying. Yeah, of course you do.
All right, guys. We'll leave it right there. When we come back here on First Take, we have more LeBron on the way that we need to get into. Did last night's win without AD prove he is the MVP of the league right now? Why the answer is no? That's coming up next.
Arby's, 2 for $6 every day. Ooh. It doesn't get more Arby's than this. 2 of those things for just $6. Arby's, we have the meats.
Get up, get moving, and gradually reduce grays the easiest way. Just step into the shower with Control GX, the first and only shampoo that blends away a little gray with every wash for a subtle, natural look. Control GX from Just for Men.
We believe in the power of helping hands. Teamwork that works. So you can find ways to stay close.
Gillette Pro Glide. 5 blades and a pivoting flex ball designed to get virtually every hair on the first stroke. So you're ready for the day with a fresh face for a fresh start. For a limited time, get a 5th cartridge free.
The Lexus ES, now available with all-wheel drive.
This rain is bananas.
Lease the 2021 ES250 all-wheel drive for $349 a month for 36 months.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
The Bullet Frontier Fund is making a commitment to help bartenders keep doing what they do best. Let's keep our bartenders pouring.
The new Ergo Smart Base from Tempur-Pedic responds to snoring automatically, so no hiding under your pillow or opting for the couch. Your best sleep, all night, every night. Renew your sleep with the one-of-a-kind comfort of Tempur-Pedic and save up to $500 on adjustable mattress sets.
Broken windshield, take 1.
Hey guys, my windshield just got broken. I feel like I need to blow off some steam. Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Mr. Blanks, there's no need to be stressed. Geico makes it easy to file a claim online, on the app, or over the phone.
Yeah, but what if I never hear back? That's gonna make me want to go, Jack.
Nope, your Geico claims team is always there for you.
That makes me want to celebrate with some fireworks. 5, 6, 7, go. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah!
Geico. Great service without all the drama. Managing type 2 diabetes? You're on it. You may think you're doing all you can to manage type 2 diabetes and heart disease, but could your medication do more to lower your heart risk? Jardiance can reduce the risk of cardiovascular death for adults who also have known heart disease, so it could help save your life from a heart attack or stroke. And Jardiance lowers A1C.
Jardiance can cause serious side effects including dehydration, genital yeast or urinary tract infections, and sudden kidney problems. Ketoacidosis is a serious side effect that may be fatal. A rare but life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this bacterial infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction. And don't take it if you're on dialysis or have severe kidney problems. Taking Jardiance with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
Lower A1C and lower risk of a fatal heart attack?
On it with Jardiance.
We're committed to making Jardiance available and affordable. With our savings card, eligible patients pay as little as $10.
Arby's, 2 for $6. Every day. Spicy buffalo, creamy ranch, bready bread. 2 of those things for just $6. Arby's, we have the meats. This is the Epson EcoTank color printer. No more buying cartridges. Big ink tanks, lots of ink. Print about this many pages. The new Epson EcoTank. Just fill and chill.
And we'll rise up, high like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you.
You won't want to miss more First Take coming up tomorrow. We'll have the latest news surrounding big-name quarterbacks who could be on the move, and there's a lot of them. Plus, our HBCU tour continues at Howard University in the nation's capital. All that and more Wednesday, right here on First Take.
I feel bad for kicking your seat on purpose.
I'm sorry for mansplaining. That's when a man...
I know what it is.
We should have just told you it's a boy.
I wish you didn't have to hear all that.
Sorry I called you Karen.
That's my name.
Sorry your name is Karen.
I promise I will not eat any more of your friends.
Really?
Okay, it might happen one more time.
And Doug.
Hey, Limu. How great is it that we get to tell everybody how Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need? I mean, oh, sorry. Whoops. Meow, good evening. Oh, meow. Nope. Oh, what? I'm an emu. No, buddy. Buddy, it's a filter. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
They got the win.
Absolutely amazing.
Now, get the gear. The Buccaneers have won the Super Bowl. And you can get your hands on the official trophy collection at NFLshop.com, including the Super Bowl t-shirt and hat, along with podium jacket and celebration towel.
The Bucs are the champions of the world.
They wore it on the field. Now you can wear it everywhere. Shop now and get free shipping at NFLshop.com.
The new Detroit style from Pizza Hut, where the sauce goes on last. Yeah, you heard me. Last. That's what keeps the crust light and airy. It's kind of blowing my mind right now. Try the new Detroit style today. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Don't let the comfort fool you. Don't let the attention to detail lead you to believe that a Honda is a delicate machine. You'd be wrong. Underneath every surface that carries a Honda badge, there has always been the capacity to amaze. Rise to the challenge with the rugged performance of the Honda Pilot, Passport, and CR-V. Don't miss the Honda 0% event. Well-qualified buyers can get a great deal, like 0% APR financing on the purchase of select Honda models. Hurry in or shop online.
You know Miller Lite only has one more calorie, right?
And more taste. Good choice.
Riding a bike should be a really fun experience. We make low-maintenance bicycles for everyday riders. We were coming off a great year, and when the pandemic hit, it just stopped. We really had to think creatively. Teams allowed us to do what we call virtual visits. Hey, is that TK?
Hi, how are you?
We're able to see 2- or 3-fold the amount of customers from all over the world. Without Teams, there's no way this would have been possible. And I really think it's going to set a standard for retail moving forward.
Your mom's been posting a lot since she got that phone from Cricket.
Every day.
Here's a comment. We stan.
Oh, Mom. You have a cool mom.
More phone, more fun.
Hiring is challenging, especially for key roles.
Finding the right people is a very difficult task. ZipRecruiter finds us the best people for the job. They sent my jobs to the top job sites and found people with the right skills and experience. We've hired everyone from accountants to project managers to field scientists. With ZipRecruiter, we get hiring results.
ZipRecruiter, rated the #1 hiring site. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/fans.
We all want to feel safe in the places we spend our time.
Restaurants, theaters, stores,
hotels, stadiums, offices, banks, childcare centers, and schools.
I'm Dr. Richard Carmona. This is the Well Health Safety Seal from the International Well Building Institute, the global authority on healthy buildings.
When you see the Well Health Safety Seal, it means health and safety measures
have met rigorous scientific standards. So look for the Well Health Safety Seal outside and feel more confident going inside.
He is playing on that special level once again. Kevin Durant is winning the league MVP.
It's NBA on ABC time. Nets Warriors, Saturday on ABC.
What a lineup I have for you here on Saturday. Well, ESPN does. North Carolina, Virginia square off at 6 Eastern on ESPN. Then the Nets Big Three taking on Steph in the Warriors, 8 Eastern on ABC and on ESPN Plus pay-per-view at 10 Eastern. It's the UFC 258 main card. Here's our SEC Big 12 Super Tuesday doubleheader on ESPN in the app, 7 Eastern. Arkansas facing Kentucky at Rupp Arena. Then West Virginia taking on Texas Tech. Oh, can I try that again? Texas Tech, in the night's main event. Meanwhile, last night, We witnessed LeBron continuing to play at a timeless level as it marked the 13th time he led his team outright in points, rebounds, and assists as the oldest player on his team to appear in the game. Big Perk still here with us. Max, did LeBron prove he is the MVP last night?
No. He proved he is the best player in the game. You cannot take that away from him until it's proven in the finals by another great player. But MVP, and by the way, I hate the MVP award. It shouldn't be a regular season award. You know how I stand on that, Molly. But if we're just talking the literal definition of the regular season MVP, it's Joel Embiid, who's, by the way, got his team in first place, and he ain't playing with AD, who recently beat the Nets and the Lakers and the Celtics twice, who is averaging, let me just throw out some stuff at you, Perk, because here is last bunch of games, okay? 42-10, 38-11, 33-14, 28-6, 37-11, 34-11, 37-5, 33. He's putting up the kind of numbers that Shaq has always said he needs to put up consistently in order to really fulfill his potential and be the dominant big guy. He's doing it now. You want to talk about, do I think Joel Embiid's better than LeBron? No. Do I think his team's going to win the finals? No. Do I think LeBron's the best player in the game? Yes. Do I like the way the MVP's set up? No. But if you're asking who so far is the regular season MVP, it is very clear, and that's Joel Embiid.
Well, Max, I'm not about to hoop and holler with you right now because I'm a fan of Joel Embiid, and I think he is having an MVP season. Those numbers that you told me that you just shot out there, those are dominant numbers. But if Molly asked the question and said last night, did it prove that LeBron is the MVP? My answer is yes. Okay, yes. And here's why. A wise man told me it's not what you do, it's how you do it, okay? And when you look at the fashion that LeBron James is playing in, the effect that he has on the game, it's a beautiful thing to see in year 18 at the age of 36 years old. Here you got a guy by the name of D. Wade, who played with LeBron, won championships with him in Miami, saw a great LeBron James down there, and said, this is the best LeBron James that I've ever seen. And so when I watch the game, and I'm watching the Lakers play, I'm watching LeBron James go from being a small forward to a scorer when he's playing alongside Dennis Schroeder at the start of the game, to when Dennis Schroeder goes out the game, he goes back to being a point guard and a facilitator. He's passing the ball on time, on target. You watching guys like Wesley Matthews and Caldwell Pope not have to reach high or reach low. The ball is in their shooting pocket. You watching LeBron James dissect defense, read the defense better than he has ever done in his career, right? Getting to his spots, triple jabbing, jab step, going left, pulling up for his jumper. We're watching the best version. And by the way, offensively, I just told you what he's doing. Everything perfect on the offensive end, he's doing perfect. On the defensive end, guess what? At 36 years old, he's a better defender than your boy Kawhi Leonard right now because he's guarding people. He's guarding people. So when I look at it, he's not only giving us the offensive package and making others around him better while doing it. On the defensive end, we could argue and say he's the defensive player of the year. So I'm looking at it, the whole body of work, and watching what LeBron James is doing and his impact on the game. And when we thought that because of a short NBA offseason, it was going to be load management, and he's played every single damn game. Even the ones AD has missed, even the back-to-backs where we thought he was going to be resting. No, he hasn't rested. In the last 2 weeks, by the way, he's ranked top 10 in minutes. So he's landed out there on the line every single night, and he's coming up with wins. He's got back-to-back triple-doubles. So right now, although Joel Embiid, you got Big Jokic playing well, it's a lot of guys that are playing exceptional basketball. But when I look at the overall body of work and the impact on the game, not just stats, because Braun is doing that also, but the total impact, I got to give it to LeBron James, Max.
Let's talk total impact. I'm not saying LeBron's not a miraculous player. He is. And you're right. AD really challenged him. He said on this show, he challenged him to play intense defense last year. And I think AD deserves some credit for being an influence there because LeBron is playing defense more consistently than he did in Cleveland. It's more like the Miami days, but with a little more wisdom. So like, I get what you're saying. Defensive player of the year so far is Joel Embiid, actually. Like, I focused on Embiid's offense, which has been the best in the game this year so far, if you want to talk about the numbers he's put up. The defense, Joel Embiid has been look, last year I was saying Ben Simmons was the best defender in the league until he got hurt. The best defender on the Sixers this year is Embiid. And he's doing it on the offensive end, and his team is in first place. Matter of fact, they don't know what to do with Embiid. You know who he was giving AD the business when they went head-to-head. He was abusing Anthony Davis. And in fact, it got, LeBron took him out of the air, right? Like, when Embiid went down hard, LeBron and Gasol were like, what are we going to do with this guy? Nothing. They took him out of the air. He landed hard and wasn't the same after. Until then, he was giving AD the business. And on the defensive end, Perk, you want to argue someone else is the defensive player of the year? You said you're not going to hoot and holler about the Embiid. I'm not going to hoot and holler about it either. If you ask me my honest opinion right now as to who's played the best defense, any individual player, which player has most affected the defense of their team and the offense of the other team this year so far, I'm going to tell you Embiid.
Yeah, but Max, that's crazy for you to say because you're a stats and analytics guy. And for you not to know the stats and analytics, that's beyond me right now because that's what you rely on. Who's the number one defensive team in the league, Max? Can you tell me that?
No doubt. Yep, the Lakers are top 5 offense and defense.
Okay. I said, who is the number one defensive team in the league, Max?
All right, go
the
ahead.
Lakers.
And?
Right? Okay. Who is number one at guarding their opponent 101, Max? LeBron James.
Go ahead.
LeBron James. So I'm going to just leave it at that. I mean, we're not even about to talk about the defensive side of things because Molly didn't ask about the defensive player of the year. I just threw that in there to show you the overall effect
the MVP.
that LeBron James is
we said
having
MVP, but
LeBron James is, but I'm telling you that he's giving it to you on both ends of the floor, Max Kellerman. That's what I'm telling you.
So is Embiid. Look, Seth Curry and Tobias Harris. You notice how Tobias Harris looks better on defense this year? Why do you think that is? It's because big Joel Embiid is right there, holding it down.
Doc Rivers.
Embiid has had a ripple effect on the defense of this team. You want to say Doc Rivers has gotten Embiid to play more consistent defense? Whatever. But he is doing it. I think of every player in the league, the guy who steps on the floor and affects the other team's offense the most is Joel Embiid. I also think he's been the best offensive player in the game so far. His team is also in first place, and he has a recent win against LeBron and the Lakers and against Durant and KD and the Nets. He's the MVP at this moment.
Max, here's the thing that I'm not knocking that Embiid is not in the MVP conversation. But Molly asked me a question, and I answered it, and I told you why. And I'm not going to sit up here and defer because you sitting up here telling me about Embiid and his impact or whatever. I'm telling you why I feel like LeBron James is the best player in the world and is the MVP of the league. And if you watch it with your eye test, it's a different impact. Yes, Embiid is going down there and give you 30-plus points. But when I look at the overall impact, when I watch a guy like Wes Matthews, and I'm not taking anything from Wes Matthews. Watching the game last night, before last night, I believe, hold on, listen, Max. I believe that Wes Matthews had about 4 DMPs before last night. But credit to him for staying ready so he didn't have to get ready. His number was called. And so he had a monster game last night on the defensive end and the offensive end. But guess what? We didn't have to see Wesley Matthews dribbling up the court and making plays. The game came to him so easy because he's on the point. He's on the floor with LeBron James, and LeBron James was hitting him with pinpoint passes where all he had to do was just knock down shots, and he did just that. That's what I'm talking about, the impact.
I'm not arguing against LeBron. I acknowledge the impact, but I'll give you another one for Embiid, okay? In the way the Sixers are constructed, When Embiid's not on the floor, they can't do anything. Not only do I think he's been the most valuable offensive and defensive player this year, not only is his team in first place, and he beat LeBron's team head-to-head and KD's head-to-head recently, but when he's not on the floor, they can't function because Dwight Howard and Ben Simmons both need the paint to score. All
right.
So, in fact, in terms of value to his team, it's even more.
Yeah, last word, Perk.
Molly, real quick. I just witnessed about a week and a half ago the Philadelphia 76ers get a hell of a win on the road against a tough Pacers team without Embiid. I'm going to just leave it at that, okay?
Okay. Fair enough. And I'm going to leave you with this note. At 36, if LeBron wins MVP, he will pass Karl Malone back in 99 as the oldest player ever to win MVP. All I know is Brady, LeBron, all these people doing these things at an advanced age, crushing. It's really giving me life. It's making me feel better about myself, too. So thanks for the inspiration, guys.
Molly, you act like you're not in your prime. Why don't you relax? Let the old people worry about being old.
Okay. I'm just saying, it makes me feel like, I got a long way to go still. The Eagles are expected to trade Carson Wentz very soon, so which team would give the Eagles quarterback his best chance of reviving his career?
We make it easy for you. Want to get the max refund? Our experts can get it done. We make it easy. Get deductions you need, and that's our guarantee. In person or virtually, Block has your back.
Feel the clarity of non-drowsy Claritin and 24-hour relief from symptoms caused by over 200 indoor and outdoor allergens. Try Claritin Cool Mint Chewables for powerful allergy relief plus a cooling sensation. Live Claritin Clear.
Gosh it, did you know Geico could save you hundreds on car insurance and a whole lot more? So what are you waiting for? Hip Hop Group Tag Team to help you plan dessert?
French vanilla, rocky road, chocolate peanut butter cookie dough. Scoop that is, scoop that is, scoop that is, scoop that is, scoop shakalaka, 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 shaka, scoop shakalaka, shakalaka, shakalaka.
Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save.
With the Capital One Venture Card, you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day.
Objection! My credit card doesn't earn double miles on every purchase.
I object to your objection. With the Capital One Venture Card, you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase.
Order. Please read Counselor's last statement.
With the Capital One Venture Card, you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase.
I'll allow it.
No further questions, Your Honor. Well, just one. What's in your wallet?
Oh, great. The show's starting.
Come on. Just trust me. Oh, trust you, like with the dollar oysters.
I don't think those were oysters.
You survived, so...
Wait, we can't go that way.
Watch this. They'll think we're VIP.
Wow. He does think we're VIP.
And backstage. Trust me now?
I never doubted you. I did for a second, but it's gone now. I trust you.
The all-new Sienna. Toyota. Let's go places.
Their love keeps you centered. This Valentine's Day, tell them with a gift from the Center of Me collection. Exclusively at K.
All you have to do is dish a drink, and your taste buds.
Sounds like happiness. So many feels. All the feels.
You do the shimmy when it meets expectations, and the head nod is I'm perfectly satisfied.
Sonic Ultimate Drink Stop.
The Bullet Frontier Fund is making a commitment to help bartenders keep doing what they do best. Let's keep our bartenders pouring.
Men put their skin through a lot, day in, day out. That's why Dove Men Body Wash is new and improved with skin-strengthening nutrients and moisturizers that help rebuild your skin with every shower.
This is star power from the jump. This is the best of the bad goodness this kid.
I think the sketchy website I bought this turtle from stole all my info.
Ooh. Have you looked on the bright side?
Discover never holds you responsible for unauthorized purchases on your card. That's my turtle.
Fraud protection. Discover something brighter.
This is a color laser printer, and this is the color toner cartridge. It's so expensive, people just print in black and white so they don't have to keep buying them. Walk with me. That's enough. The Epson EcoTank cartridge-free printer. Big ink tanks, lots of ink, and you can save a ridiculous amount on replacement ink. Print in color, all you want, without busting your budget, but you might be busting the move. The Epson EcoTank, just fill and chill. Available at
Free Coffee Mondays for members only. Try the smoky dark berry notes of new Explorer batch or the rich bold taste of new Dunkin' Midnight. Let's get it done with a free medium hot coffee on Mondays for members only. Join on the app today. America runs on Dunkin'.
So, after a rocky season with the team, sources say the Philadelphia Eagles are expected to trade Carson Wentz in the coming days. A $10 million roster bonus is due to Wentz on March 19th. On that note, we bring in our guy, Super Bowl champion Jeff Saturday. Good morning, good afternoon, all those good things to you, Jeff. I will get to you in just a second, but first I'm going to start with your boy Max here. Max, which team will give Carson Wentz, I know how fondly you are and speak of Carson Wentz, the best chance to rebound here?
Ready for this? I actually think it would be the Patriots. And I know they lack offensive weapons, and I don't think they're going to trade for them. But I think what Carson Wentz needs is an attitude realignment first. As much as he's professed, and all the reporting coming out of Philadelphia is the same about this, as much as he's professed that to want to get better and to want to be a better leader, and he's said to have a high football IQ and all those things, like everyone says that about him. He's super tough. I mean, you can see how tough a guy he is. He's tried to play through injuries where he shouldn't have even been on the field. All those things are true, and yet he has, at times, I believe the real issue is failed to look in the mirror and really be accountable. And I think he's gotten so much praise from the media and has felt so protected in his situation that he had that, like they'd win, he'd play poorly. He was, oh my God, what a heroic performance. And so maybe he wasn't really taking accountability in the way he should have. I think he needs to go to a place where there's such gravitas on the coaching staff, right? Where the reputation of the place is enough for him to humble himself in that way. Because Carson Wentz, not all that long ago, a couple of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, was an excellent quarterback. But as you know, I don't think he's been an excellent quarterback for quite some time. And I don't think that his benching this year came out of the blue. It's not like suddenly he was so great last year, and then what happened this year? I was saying all through the second half of last year, he's in fact not playing well. He's in fact costing his team. And so I think if he were to go to Belichick, he would at least be part of an organization where if the coaching staff needed him to do something, he would go out there and do it. And I think that's the most important thing for Wentz right now. In spite of the lack of offensive weapons, I think it would be the Patriots, actually.
Yeah, listen, when you think about Carson Wentz, I would say this about the disagreement we start right here is, so Carson Wentz has had a difficult last probably couple years, but at the end of last year, you really saw him help lead his team into the playoffs, right? Like when everybody was injured, he kind of stepped up, and people talked about him carrying the team on his back and getting them into the playoffs and finding a way, Max, what you kind of calling heroics. But when you talk about a team that would be the best fit, the Patriots and the Patriot way and what they have, that's not going to benefit him. He needs a team like the Indianapolis Colts. And I'll tell you why. The nucleus of the team is built inside out, which Chris Ballard has done a fantastic job. He has good, but not great, outside help and young players who could potentially help him. The most important part is he has a fantastic offensive line that's young, minus Costanza, who just retired, so they'll have to replace the left tackle. But we know Ballard's not afraid to put money or resources in the offensive line. And he has a young running back in Taylor who is ascending and really showed what he can be now with guys who, Mac being injured, coming back. Potentially, you have a few different options that will help you and help your game. I think he's athletic, which lends itself to moving the pocket, which we know Frank Reich is not afraid to do. Move the pocket, trap pass, 2 tight end sets, 3 tight end sets, right? Cram things in. If you need to spread it out, he can do all the. So the plethora of options are there. I think the seamless transition becomes because when he is protected, he is a different quarterback. And I would liken this, and obviously people are going to hear this, and you look at what happened to Patrick Mahomes when he was pressured the way he was pressured in the Super Bowl. I played with a Hall of Fame quarterback in Peyton Manning. I played with Aaron Rodgers. I've watched Tom Brady his entire career. When players are pressured and quarterbacks are on the run for their life, they are not the same guy. So unless you can tell me that New England's offensive line is going to improve in just pure pass blocking ability, I would tell him, if I'm his agent, go find that group of guys who are going to afford you the most protection, give you a good, if not great, run game, and then just be part of an offense. Don't go somewhere where you got to be the dude. Like, we don't want that, because we really don't know if you have
I hear that, but Jeff,
let's make sure you can build in there.
Jeff, I appreciate the point about the Colts, because the Colts got the best guard, and they spent a very high draft pick on him, the best interior lineman, I think, in the game, and a guy who's just a difference maker, no question. They built that team right, and now they need to find their quarterback. I'm saying I don't think Carson Wentz is ready to be that quarterback. You bring up Mahomes and how he was pressured. Yeah, Mahomes, I thought, was spectacular. I thought he was spectacular in the Super Bowl. He was on the run for his life, pressured more than anyone ever, but with a lower blitz rate than anyone ever, right, on dropbacks. So he's always running for his life. No one's ever open. He threw 3 touchdown passes in the end zone. Hit 2 guys in the face and 1 in the hands. Like, he was unbelievable. That's not what Carson Wentz did a couple of years ago. What Carson Wentz did even last year, Jeff, at the end of that season when everyone was lauding him for bringing his team to victory. In fact, he got healthy against an extremely weak NFC East. And even then, he was turning the ball over on 3rd down in the 4th quarter. They were lucky to recover. He was beating these backup quarterbacks in the NFC East. But, Jeff, everyone in the NFC East was beating those same quarterbacks right around that time, worse than Wentz was beating them. I really did not think he played well. I was sounding the alarm on first take all the second half of last year. I see this as a continuation. Jeff, the reason I bring all that up is because what I'm saying about Carson Wentz is, of course you're right if he's protected. He's better throwing on the run, although he doesn't move the way he used to, but maybe he could. But my point about Wentz is more than anything, it's upstairs. It's a humility issue. It's an adjustment issue. It's an issue of really taking accountability for his play and for leadership, not just in word, but in deed. And so when I look for the right fit, to me, it's not about the X's and O's and about the pieces on the field. It's about the coaching staff and a place where Wentz could really get that part fixed or that part worked on. That's why I said the Patriots. Any other team that you would bring up, I'd want to know about the coaching staff and Wentz's attitude toward that.
Yeah, listen, I agree with you on the coaching staff portion, but I think it's the opposite. I don't think you need a leader at quarterback if you go to the Patriots, right? McDaniels has a very strong personality. So does Bill. You know, both those guys, they have a certain way they want to go do it. They'll allow you to be you to a certain degree, but ultimately they're going to be the guys who carry the water in that locker room. And so from Wentz's perspective, there's not going to be any leadership required. So from just the actual learning the leadership part, from the X's and O's, I think Frank Reich is probably the one, if he's not the best, he's one of the top 3 play callers, and they have the ability to complete it. Like, why did Tom want to leave New England? Partly because of what was on the outside. Like, you're asking him to go back in, and it's not just going to be the mental part. I understand what you're saying about the mental part, but there also have to be guys around that can make you better than you are. And that's every position in the league, Max. Like, the guys you play with matter. So you're going to go to a group where now you have to be that guy no matter who's on the outside. I think that's a tall order to get. And it's not like the Patriots have produced tons of receivers over the past 20 years. Tom Brady has created those guys, but man, now you're asking him to create those receivers. I think that's a tall order to ask right there.
All right, we'll leave it there. In the last 2 seasons, Carson Wentz ranks 33rd in off-target percentage. Let's go to Tom Brady now. He has 3 road wins, fellas. Yeah, it's that bad, Jeff. Threw 10 touchdown passes and won a Super Bowl in one postseason in Tampa during a pandemic, mind you. And oh, by the way, beat Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, and Patrick Mahomes along the way. Max, was this the best playoff run by a quarterback ever?
No, it's clearly not, but it's way up there. But there were 2 runs better than this one, clearly. And both times, the guy beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. And that's from Eli Manning. Guys like Jeff Saturday looked at this Bucs team and said, that team's going to go to the Super Bowl. I love this team. Both sides of the ball before the season started. No one was saying that about those Giants teams, right? Then Tom Brady has every weapon you want, and he's playing in the Super Bowl ultimately against a line that's been decimated by injury. I never thought the Chiefs should have been favored. I liked them to win because I thought Mahomes would work miracles in a comeback again. But not because of the shape that the Chiefs were in. Think about Eli Manning's runs, Jeff. The first time, he faces a 9-7 Bucs team with Jeff Garcia, a real NFL quarterback, on a 9-7 team, beats him on the road. Goes to Dallas, beats Tony Romo in his prime on a 13-3 team on the road. This isn't Heineke and a 7-9 team. This isn't the end of Drew Brees. This is Romo in his prime on a 13-win team. He then goes to Lambeau and beats Brett Favre on the road. And then Tom Brady in his greatest season with Randy Moss, 50 touchdowns, with Randy Moss, undefeated, about to be crowned the greatest team in sports history, better than any Yankees team, better than the Jordan Bulls. And Eli beats that team and wins MVP. And then, Jeff, he did it again in 2011. The same thing. He beat Alex Smith on a 49ers team that was a devastating defensive team, 13-win team. He beat Aaron Rodgers at Lambeau, 15-1 that year, and then beat Brady again in the Super Bowl. Both runs by Eli were more on an inferior team compared to this Bucs team. Didn't get to host the Super Bowl, beat Brady twice, who's the GOAT, right, in his prime. Those are the 2 best Super Bowl runs ever. Then this run by Brady.
I like how you tried to sugar me in with this, Max. You tried to bring a Manning in, not my Manning, but you brought a Manning in, which I appreciate. You know what I mean? I give you some points. I like the style. You know what I mean? But I can't. I'm gonna stick with Brady right here now, and which is hard for me to do. You know this is difficult for me to do, but I will say, and the reason I said this is because the way that historians, guys like yourself, will frame this is he went on the road. He beat, to your point, he beat a poor quarterback, but a very good front 7 in Washington in the playoffs. Then he goes and beats Brees, the team that had beat them twice during the season, beats them at home against another exceptionally good defense and the New Orleans Saints. Then he goes to the MVP's house and beats Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay in Green Bay, and then caps it off with the baby goat. That's your name, not mine. You know I don't do the baby goat nonsense. But the guys that everybody's already crowning to be the next GOAT, and that's what you call them, and he beats them, handily. And so when we start passing out these things, it seems like they always frame it in quarterback language. So I'm giving it to you in your language. Okay. How I look at the games is completely different. I think Todd Bowles, MVP, held Mahomes to 9 points. That's pretty spectacular. Every one of Brady's championships has been a top 10 defensive football team. This is no different. But I don't look at it any different. I think Eli had some really good teams. They got hot. It looked good. We give all the credit to quarterbacks. So when you go on the road and beat Brees, you beat Brady, you beat Mahomes and Rodgers,
well,
all
let's look
2
at
NFL MVPs, and that run, that's pretty spectacular.
But let's look at it. First of all, the Bucs were firing on all cylinders. They had an elite offensive line this year, top 5 in the league. They had an elite defense, and they were facing a line with 3 starters missing, including both tackles. Okay, so Todd Bowles is a genius. He didn't bring the pressure. They blitzed under 10% of the time. They got pressure on dropbacks over 50% of the time. Why would he send anyone? What that means is you're always on the run for your life, and also no one's ever open, right? But Tom Brady through this playoffs extraordinary. You're right. But let's really match it up. Eli beat a 10-win Matt Ryan team on one of the runs, followed by a 13-win defensive juggernaut in San Francisco with Alex Smith as the quarterback, followed by Aaron Rodgers, who was 15-1, not 13-3 this year.
Max, that was
15-1, followed by Tom Brady himself. Guys, that was that was the second run.
You put
both times.
You put Romo, Alex Smith. You put all these guys in the same category. You just said, let's say the names.
Okay,
Matt.
let's do it. Hold on.
Breeze,
Rodgers. Let's do 07.
Okay,
let's
Breeze,
do 07.
No. Just say the names.
No,
just wait.
Jeff.
Just humor me
Jeff
here.
Go.
No. But this is Jeff.
Breeze,
this is where this is
Rodgers, Mahomes. I mean, Romo.
Okay,
Alex
this is
Smith,
where
I don't care what the team is. I don't care what let's just lay it
that's
out.
2 different years.
We can't put those guys in the same
don't get
category.
it twisted. This is 2 different years we're talking about because Eli did it twice better than Brady just did it. One at a time. Jeff Garcia over Heineke. We both agree. If you're looking, in the boxing world, Jeff, I know all about this. People try to get you shiny names on your resume. You got to know when they fought. So the bottom line is Romo for the 13-3 Cowboys was a better quarterback that year than Breeze for this Saints team. I think everyone would agree. That Romo was better than this Breeze. And then that Favre at Lambeau was a stud on an excellent team. And then what caps it all off, Jeff, what really outweighs it, Mahomes is great. His line wasn't there. He had no offensive line. Brady was on the greatest team of all time. It was in his prime, having his greatest season that Eli beat. But that's just one of the runs. The other run is with Alex Smith on that Niners team. That was an excellent team. Matt Ryan on a 10-win Falcons team. Aaron Rodgers on a better team than he was on this year, 15 wins, and then Brady again. Who's the GOAT, right? Isn't Brady the GOAT? Not the baby GOAT, but the GOAT. And he was in his prime back then, Jeff.
Well, I mean, it all depends on how you're framing it. But I like. But I'm just telling you the way that when you talk about the 3 that he goes on the road to beat and the way that he beat them, you can say whatever you want about Breeze. People were expecting them to win that game, right? I'm not sure Tampa was favored in any of those games. I'm not sure. I know they weren't favored against Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. I wouldn't think they would have been favored against the Saints after losing twice. But for them to come back and show what they did and play the way they played, you got to give them a ton of credit. And listen, part of the game comes into, can you elevate the guys around you? When they took it to Kansas City, I mean, you've heard guys say, he looked at Fournette and said, listen, this team doesn't want to tackle. Go run nasty, go play physical, and watch us win this game. It's those type of things to get his team on the run. He took a 7-9 team and made him a Super Bowl champion. I agree. I did say they were going to do that, and I picked him.
7-9
he beat some really good QBs.
Eli's team only had 9 wins. Hold on a second. Two things. One, you want to check the odds for the Patriots-Giants Super Bowl when Brady was undefeated with 50 touchdowns that year? Because that's who Eli beat. One of the most famous plays in football history was the pass to Tyree. But the pass to Manningham, the second time he beat Brady, was even a better play. And let me just say this. You said he went on the road to beat those 3 teams. Heineke and the 7-9 Washington team, give me a break. I mean, they had a good defense, but they're in the playoffs. Give me a break. He was not at home on the road at the Super Bowl. Brady had a home game in the Super Bowl. He had a home game against the Chiefs team that should have been underdogs given the condition of their offensive line. They should have been, Jeff.
Max, you're a beautiful mind.
Look, they didn't have either tackle.
Listen, I said it. It was all you guys who said that Mahomes is going to be a hero and can overcome all odds and drop back 15 yards and do all these things. I clearly told you the game is won in the trenches every time. I don't care what it looks like. All the shiny guys on the outside, it takes those front 5. The big uglies matter. That's what wins games. It's you guys who keep trying to tell me and persuade me about quarterbacks. I'm just helping you out, Max.
Once upon a time, there was a goat, a baby goat, a honey badger, and a delusional television host with the initials MK. Bye, everyone.
It's only Tuesday and she's going that route already.
I love it. We're praying for you, Molly.
Sage and Matt with you. This is